Hi, I'm Chioma Isiadinso, CEO of Expartus, and welcome to today's session. I'm going to be talking about how to get into Stanford, and in particular, how to approach the Stanford essay, what matters most to you. I know many of you are, contemplating exactly where do you start with an essay like that. It's so open-ended. And one of the things that our clients often say is, gosh, that's a very, very deep question. How do I distill or put down on paper what matters most to me in 750 words or so? Well, here are some tips that I want to share with you, and hopefully this will make this a bit easier a process as you go through the essay writing process for Stanford. The first thing you want to know is that, Stanford wants to really understand who you are. They have your CV, and so this essay is not really designed to ascertain your accomplishments. That should already be covered in your CV and also by your recommenders. The focus of the What Matters Most to You essay should really be about you revealing your brand. And what do I mean by that? We talk about the brand as, we define the brand as, what really captures who you are as a person, the passion that you have, the values that really drive you over time, the skills or abilities that you have, the track record you've left everywhere you've been, and that all fits in to define what your personal brand is. And so no essay in the slew of admissions essays quite get at the heart of an applicant's personal brand as the Stanford What Matters Most to You essay. And so the first thing an applicant has to do is to define their personal brand. Make sure you spend time reflecting on who you are. The level of introspection that you will give to this essay, and to all your essays, quite frankly, but in particular to this essay, is so important, because what you'll find is, at the end of the day, the what matters is less important. What matters more is why that thing matters to you. You can have two applicants. One person says, being a part of a community, or building something sustainable is what matters most to me. Two of them might say that, but one applicant's story would soar, the other one would absolutely flop. Why? Because for the applicant who's really in touch with their personal brand, that story would resonate. It would be really authentic. It would fit in with the values. Why does that particular thing matter to them? They would be able to give instances and experiences in their lives when they have grown, when perhaps maybe that thing wasn't front and center, and how they've had the journey or the experience of getting to the point that they have reached, where without a doubt, this is what matters to them. It has to be something that, if you didn't have it in your life, it leaves a hole. In other words, when you're not living that in your life, there is some kind of a vacuum that you feel. And so to write this essay, my advice to you is take the time to really spend time reflecting on who you are and what matters to you, what makes you tick, where do you want to go with your life, and why does that even matter in the first place. Picture yourself standing or sitting across from the admissions board and just discussing, sort of answering this question in your own words. Don't overthink it. It's so tempting for applicants, unfortunately, to want to read a bunch of essays, to see essays that have worked. And no school, or no essay, should I say, is this the case as much as the Stanford What Matters Most to You essay, that you should avoid looking at what people are saying actually, and look more inwards and say to yourself, with a blank slate, blank piece of paper, this is what matters to me. And anyone who knows you and you share that with them, they will say, absolutely, this is who you are, this is authentic. And then what you then need to do with that, once you define the what, okay, then the next stage is figuring out why those things matter. highlight, so you brainstorm the different reasons for you why it matters. For some people, it might be one concrete core reason. For other people, it might be a variety of reasons why it matters. That's fine. The key thing is to be clear on why it matters. Okay, and then once you clarify why that thing matters, then show how you have lived it in your life. It's the evidence. Focus on giving examples. It could be from your personal life, it could be from your community life, it could be from your academic life, even professionally speaking. The key thing really is to show them, don't tell them. So that's where you share a few vignettes of examples to illustrate the point you're making about how that particular thing that you've identified that matters most to you is seen throughout your life. Okay, that's really the best way to approach the Stanford essay. I know it can be incredibly stressful. I hear from most people that this is the hardest essay to write, and yes, I know. I think that applicants who spend a lot of time thinking about this essay, introspecting on how to approach the essay and what the answers are, authentically, uniquely to them, are applicants who are able to sit down and actually write this essay with less challenge. The other thing I want to say is, if you're working on an essay and you're doing like version 25, 26, and you're deep down feeling like it's just not quite coming together, that might be a clue that the topic you've chosen is actually not quite what matters most to you. And you may have to put the essay on ice and go back to the drawing board. Being willing to go as deep as you can and to be as vulnerable as you need to in sharing what matters to you. And once you do that, the writing will come a lot easier. I wish you guys all the best, and I hope this has been helpful. If you found some of these tips useful, I encourage you to like us on Facebook, and also to join, to subscribe on our YouTube channel. I look forward to hearing your questions and your comments, and I'll be sharing other tips on how to tackle other top admissions essays, top business school admission essays. I wish you all the best. Have a great day.